Hey everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. We have a guest today, people. This is cool. I have gone on and done a decent amount of sort of expert, I guess. I was the gentleman brought in to talk about the prison system because of the Danny Masterson stuff and what has gone on. And there had been a lot of questions about, how someone gets treated. And I'm fairly familiar with the California prison system because I've done a ton of time with guys from the California prison system. But here today, we've got someone that has done an ample amount of time in that system. And I wanted to get him on here and we can talk about some of the differences between the feds in the state. It's night and day, people. It is absolute night and day. The California system is as tough as any that you'll find anywhere in the U.S., especially in terms of paperwork, of politics, of how they treat people with certain crimes. Russ, give us a little bit about your history so we understand a little bit about how you ended up in the system and all of that.
Okay, I had family members out in California when I went out there. I went out there when I was like 9 from Indiana, and my mom wanted to go out there from Indiana, so I went with her, of course, and my dad and her split up, and I started hanging around my uncles, which were all bikers, and they were into the meth scene. They were actually cooks and dealing with big weight and stuff like that, and that's how I stepped my foot into the criminal world and took off from there. So
was this rope dope or was this red, white, and what were they cooking?
It was the original. It was the yellow rock that had the deep yellow center that smelled like panther piss. Yeah, panther piss.
Yeah,
and I got oh yeah, and then I started slamming that, and I just went off the deep end. I got caught with almost 1.5 pounds after I ran, but they also had a couple of assault charges on debts I tried to clear up and pick up from my uncles, and I had a bunch of charges. That was the first time. Then it kind of rolled over, and when I hit 18, they nailed me.
Yep.
They nailed me with that, a couple burglaries, a couple assaults.
You can dodge a lot of bullets. I think people don't realize just how much trouble you can get in before you're actually going to end up in the prison system. You spend a lot of time in and out of courtrooms. Having judges give you probation and give you drug court and give you lectures and give you second chances and third chances. So walk us through a little bit of how the process from the time that you get convicted, how they do the point system and all of that, if you could.
Okay. Once you get convicted, they'll take you and set you in a transfer place or a spot for transfers in county. And then you wait for the bus to show up, the Gray Goose.
Yeah.
Once it comes about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and anywhere in California, you don't know where you're going. So, and they won't tell anybody. They won't do anything for fear of, somebody trying to break somebody out.
Yep.
Or
Vin Diesel is going to come up on the freeway.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen.
Jack that prison bus. I've seen him do it 4 times.
Yeah, he always gets away with it. That shit will never happen.
No.
But anyway, then once they take you from there at about, like I said, 4 o'clock in the morning, you'll go to your receiving, your diagnostic center. See that he can go to Chino, CRC, Donovan. He will not go to Tracy. Tracy is gladiator school. Even though he will be a level 3 or above. That's not a question.
Yeah.
Because like you said, your crime or the assault, it had to do with violence, a weapon. Yeah. Like you said, that's always going to be what they're going to focus on. Yep. So they won't send you to Tracy because of, being, up there in age, I believe, and his celebrity status.
Yeah.
But, I think he might go to Donovan because that's a level 3 and cell living. They put you in the hole for 2 weeks. When you get there, this is a matter of
fish tank it.
Right. This is a matter of process. Then they, like you said, they rate your education, your background, what you've been through, what you've done. The only thing he has going for him is he's got no criminal history, but
Yep.
beat.
Yep, absolutely.
That's it.
You know, he's got a couple other things too. They're gonna look, at least the way they would do it in the federal system. They're gonna take into account the fact that they're gonna say he's been gainfully employed for the entire duration of time that he's been an adult, and they're gonna talk about, you know, ties to the community and all of those things. So on paper, you know, there's going to be some things that are going to go in his favor. But like you said, you know, that he's not going to get to a level 2 yard, at least not out the bat.
No.
And he's going to have to, and he's, you know, in order for him to get to a level 2 yard, he has to do X period of time without getting into any trouble, right? Showing these programming and things like that.
After so many years.
Yeah, exactly.
After so many years. Right, exactly. He's not, I can tell you right now, I mean, a big thing that they got going on now is overcrowding. All right. There's overcrowding everywhere. They have shut down the gyms, put 3-tiered bunks in there, and everybody is everybody. They're around each other and everybody's getting hit all the time.
Yeah.
Now, when he walks in there, if they put him in a gym, he's not going to last.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll get got
what do they
quick.
used to call it over at Broadway? All of those
Front Street.
Yeah, Front Street. They literally just line up bunks in front of cells and in hallways. It's terrifying. The overcrowding in the California system is really, really bad.
In the gymnasium, there's probably 400 guys in the gym now with 3-tier bunks.
Yeah, they're just stacking literally like cordwood. They're stacking people in there. And, you know, under the best of circumstances with people that are really, really cool and get along fine. I mean, you get solid guys with good paperwork and you put 500 of them in a gymnasium and they're going to cut each other's throats in about 3 weeks. I've been in so many situations. I've told the story many times on the lifeboat, but when I was in the Federal Correction Institution in Phoenix, I got brought to the SHU and I was going to be doing about 14 months because I had an assault on staff and they were going to be shipping me. So I had to do about 14 months back there. And it started out 2 guys in a 2-man cell. And then a cop came up and said, we're going to have to put this dude in with a piece of crap. We're going to have to put him in with somebody who's got bad paperwork. This is a solid wood and it's going to get him, you know, a shot. So I said, yeah, go ahead and put him in. And I swear to you, man, there were nights in that place where we had 5 white dudes in a 2-man cell. And no matter how much you get along with people, when you get people and you push them into in a tight situation, it's why prison's so dangerous, man.
Oh yeah, you know, definitely.
And the more overcrowded it gets, the worse.
Yeah, like I told you, I went to my first time. I went to Chino Central, and then they send you from Chino Central, the old Chino that you see in the movies and all that. They send you out to West Yard, which is an oval track with 1, 2, 3, 4, and a cafeteria, independent housing, you know, open dorms.
Right. Yep.
And that's where they'll send you, and you go from there. You'll stay there about a month or whatever because it's low level or whatever they've got set up now. I don't know. Yeah. But like I said, with that Keefe, that bag of coffee, like I told you about, I seen that dude take somebody else's head off with a 45-pound dumbbell over $1.75.
Yeah. The inside people, they, you know, you have to have a form of currency, and the currency that they use in prisons is often stamps or it's commissary or whatever.
Right.
But you hear the term very often. This has nothing to do with the money, right? This is a phrase you will hear an awful lot, right? This has nothing to do with how much money this guy owes me. And I've seen people cut and stabbed and airlifted off yards for a book of stamps, you know, $6.
Oh, yeah.
And it happens all the time. If you tell somebody that you're going to pay them on a Tuesday, it's not like telling a friend from high school you're going to pay him on Tuesday when you might really get him Friday. If you don't do what you say you're going to do, you're in real trouble. So from the time you catch the train to the first intake, right to the reception center, how long is it going to be before he's in proper housing, where he's actually going to be on the yard, where he's going to be in theory living?
Well, I mean, back when I went in, it took probably a total processing of 45 days, maybe
45 days. Okay.
Maybe because
that sounds about right.
the intake is so quick there now that they're keeping them a week or 2 weeks in the hole or isolation or whatever, and then they'll send them out to a holding yard just to, get them out of there so they can bring more in.
Yeah.
And then you'll go from there.
Yeah.
It
becomes an assembly line. It's frightening to see that just how huge it is. It really is, especially when you're in one of the bigger systems. California is, if not the biggest prison state in the U.S., it is certainly in the running with Texas and Philadelphia. I mean, Pennsylvania's got a ton of prisons as well, but California, I think, is the king in the U.S. To be sure.
Right.
I have talked a lot about that first day when you walk in, and the vast majority of emails that I get from people are concerning that actual that feeling that they obviously, this is the guy we're talking about had a very, very different life and a very privileged one, which is going to make that first walk into a unit considerably more difficult, especially with his fame and all of the other things that are a part of this.
Right.
Walk us through what that first walk down that into the unit is like.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with cars, or are you?
I am.
Okay. So you walk in there, first thing somebody wants to know is where you're from.
Yeah.
All right. So they find out you're from Inland Empire or, Bakersfield or Northern California or whatever, Orange County, all that, or San Diego. That establishes who you run with at your color. Those people will come to you and check you. As soon as you walk in, you feel like you're naked because everybody is watching you on the yard when you walk through into the building. You're thinking it's really overwhelming.
Every eye in the place.
Yeah, because everybody is sizing you up. As soon as Danny hits any yard, people are going to go, that's my ticket. I'm doing life. I don't have people on the street. That's my money right there. And that's how it'll be. Somebody will walk up to him and, hey, how you doing? Can I get you anything? Whatever.
Yep.
But once he establishes that with that person, it's over. I'll keep you safe and whatever. You just send money to my books or my people, and it goes from there.
Yeah, people are going to be doing street to street, and I know people get offended by the concept that these things go on. And to be really honest with you, whatever you believe about it, it's just a fact that this is how this system works. And you have to understand something. And you can tell me if you disagree with this, Russ. But when you get into prison, everything that makes you an American, I mean, keeping it real, everything that makes you a citizen in this country gets stolen from you the second you walk in. Right around the time they tell you to bend over, spread your cheeks and cough, you realize that you have lost all control over every single aspect of your life. And the only thing you can control at that point is who you're going to be near, right? Who you're going to have to do that time with. And this is the reason that the hierarchy of crimes is established, right? All of a sudden we get shoved into a world that is completely foreign and completely unique. And the only thing you can control is whether or not you have to do time with people that did really messed up crimes. And it becomes such a big thing for people to not have to do time with people that ratted or people that, I mean, even with rats, people have no respect for them and they're going to get hurt. But at least someone can go, I can see why somebody would tell on somebody because they want to go home. There's nobody in there that's going to look at Danny Masterson and go, I can understand why he did that. That's never going to get any play.
Nope.
There's a lot of people who believe that once somebody has this kind of a crime and ends up in a system, that the protective custody, the PC thing, means that there's going to be people watching this guy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to make sure that nothing happens to him. And I think they tend to, when they say, well, everybody on the yard's PC are a lot of guys that were stone cold killers on Monday. Monday they were selling dope, they were collecting money, they were running for a gang, and they get into a beef over a honey bear full of moonshine. A couple of guys get loaded and someone stabs somebody, and the next thing you know, you're going to be on those yards for the rest of the time that you're in prison. And it doesn't make these people soft. Nope. It just makes them unable to run with their gang anymore.
Yeah, you get older or whatever, they'll ship you out, whatever, give you an option, take off.
Yep.
You can't ride with us anymore.
Yep.
You know, it's up to you. But there are killers in sensitive needs yards, and if you parole from a yard, you'll go right back to that yard. You won't even. Sometimes you won't even go to county. They'll take you right back up to where you paroled from. So you think you get somebody coming off of heroin and everything like that, see somebody with something,
Yep.
you're done.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to have to.
One
Go
of the
ahead.
questions I just saw said, "Why is it getting so crowded? Why are there so many more people going to prison? Is it, what laws is it? You know what it is, people. Honestly, is just that." And I don't want to get too political. We're not a political channel, but this year they're going to write about 150 to 300,000 laws. Right? That's what they average, between 150 and 300,000 laws a year. Where the hell do you come up with that many laws? There's
Right.
There's just a lot of people that, and when the economy gets bad, more people break the law, and when the dope gets stronger, more people end up, you know what I mean? It's just, we're on a real downward spiral right now. I won't get into all of it, but there is a lot more dope on the street than there's ever been, and this dope is killing people. 300 people a day are dying from overdosing on fentanyl. And
Yes,
it's, that's not taking into account all of the warring that is going on over who's selling fentanyl on this street corner versus that street corner.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It has gotten to the point where, there are definitely more people going to prison, but it's been that way forever. The United States is 4% of the population of the world, and 26% of all people incarcerated are in this country. So they're a little happy with incarceration. And there's, you know what? I went to prison. I did what I was in there for. I didn't they got creative laws to put me in prison. I was guilty as sin.
Yeah. I'm glad they got me off the street because law. I was worried every day that, I was getting a new charge coming up from county. I thought every day, man, I was going through my case. I was writing, writs. I was doing everything I could to make sure that they didn't. And what happened was that all my crimes were committed before the third strike law came into effect.
Thank God.
So I didn't have to worry about anything, but I still had other charges that could be brought, but they couldn't strike me out.
And you went in young.
Yeah, I went in 18.
Oh my God, in heaven.
Yeah.
That is a tough way.
I got out when I was 31.
Handed you the wooden sword and the
almost
the trash can?
Yeah, actually they did. I mean, like I told you in the email, I went up to Corcoran. I went through Soledad. I've been on level 4 where when they escort you, they have to escort you behind a moving screen while you're walking down the tier. I've seen guys get hit with spears, jump off the tier, jump off the tier. Yes, I come out of my cell and stepped over somebody that had his throat cut to go to chow and kept going. Yep. That's what you got to do.
It's so hard to I think for people to it was hard for me to imagine. I was the first when I got in because of the fact that I had never been to prison. I was in my late 30s. I went to a yard that was really, really nice. I really did. I could have done very soft time, and I screwed up bad. And the next thing I knew, I was at the special management unit, and I had never seen any of the violence. Like at the FCIs, you just don't see it. And I got to the SMU, and people got their faces cut off. I'm not exaggeration. There was a guy that went to town on a guy with a razor blade and removed the vast majority of this guy's face in a cage. And every single day that we went into those red cages, somebody got gassed. And the white boys from California who were on our tier had a rule that every single day the white guys went outside. Every one of them, sick, no matter what, they had to go out. And it would be freezing rain, 22 degrees, and nobody went outside but the white guys. But we were on there with a bunch of heavy hitting gang members. Did you tip up in there?
I didn't have to. Like I told you, my cellie was the key holder. He was a good friend of my uncle's, and they kind of steered me away from that.
So but I had explain the key holder to the people that here who are not familiar with the concept.
All right. So like I said, about cars. So every car from like San Diego or LA or IE or all that has somebody that leads that car. It's basically a democracy. Well, if there's a problem with that car, that leader will come to the key holder, who is the shot caller for the whole yard. And if there's a problem, he'll delegate, who needs to be taken care of it. And their car needs to take care of it. If they don't take care of it, we will. So
it can be as little as discipline, right? A couple of guys going in, if they say just go in there and discipline the guy, they'll send in a couple of your own people, to go in and tune you up so that you don't make that mistake again.
They won't
go from there.
Yeah, they won't violate you or anything like that, but they'll knuckle up, and you got to learn how to fight with 28 inches between you and two bunks and two bookcases, made of metal.
Yep.
So
metal toilet and sink.
Yeah, like I said, I never had to worry about that. I could have steered that way, but my cellie, he was like, "No, you just need to stay away. Your uncle would kill me," and because he knew each other. Yeah. So, but I did, partake in some fun activity.
Yeah. I think this is another thing that people don't understand. If you go in and your paperwork is good, right?
Oh yeah.
If you go in and you've done nothing that the fellas find obnoxious, that's the first step into you can hang out. And the second step is you're going to prove that if things go bad, you're willing to jump in for your car and for your people. And in order to do that, they're going to say, you're third in line or you're fourth in line. You're going to go put work in, and you may not, it's not something you have to do every single day, but it's something you're going to do when you first get there, or you're not going to be able to hang out on that yard.
It's a fine line. I mean, you have to watch your mouth. You can't, respect is big in there. So you always got to have respect. I can put it out here.
It is the thing. It is literally anytime. I mean, I promise you, anybody that loses their life in prison this week, and it's going to happen somewhere in the United States this week, I promise. And when they bring that person in and they start the interview process, he's going to bring up the word respect in the first 4 seconds. He got disrespected. Yes. This person did that. Russ nailed it. Respect is king inside. And
it is.
And people think that respect has been messed with in any way. The line that they will go to make sure that that's taken care of. And then, to be really honest, as Russ was talking about, when you first walk in, when he walks in, people are going to look at him with that look, like it is an affront to them that he is in that room. I cannot imagine what that walk is going to be like. I went in with solid paperwork into a place where they had a welcome basket for me and everything else, and it was still just the strangest feeling in the world. You walk in there that first time, and every eye in the place looks at you, and they're looking you up or down, trying to figure out, sizing you up. Is this guy any good? And in a lot of places, you get that paperwork that says what you're in there for, and you lay it on your rack for the first 2 weeks you're in there. That thing's out there so that anybody that's got a question, right? It's with you or in your pocket or on your, but you've got that thing handy, because for the first 2 weeks, there are going to be people that, that definitely question you.
There are.
It's going to be strange with him, right? I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea what happens to somebody with bad paperwork. I mean, that they have to have a card, right? There's somebody in there that literally, there's got to be just a group of freaks that probably check, their own people. There's got to be a hierarchy among
there is. I know the warden, prison warden, and even guards will do this. The prisoner, the warden, what is it? His secretary or something is an inmate.
Right.
So
absolutely.
We know everything. We can find out anything we want. And with his notoriety and his monetary background, or what he's got, is going to be a key. And the fact that he did what he did, I like I told you, I know about 10 or 15 homeboys that are still in that I talk to. They're salivating waiting for him to show up somewhere.
Yep. Yeah. That's I saw that coming. I've been in the federal system. There's you see a lot of pretty famous inmates come through, and depending on what the crime is, even like Bernie Madoff. When Bernie Madoff was going in, he didn't have any problems. Guy walked onto the yard he was on. I mean, he stole a lot of money. As far as inmates are concerned, there's nothing wrong with stealing a lot of money.
Nope. There's not.
And they don't much care who you're stealing it from.
Unless it's somebody's grandmother.
Exactly. Unless it's if you're working over retired old people, that's not always such a good idea. But,
no, they're not.
Bernie Madoff walked onto a yard in the federal system without any problem at all. It's a strange thing for me to try to wrap my brain around the fact that every single person knows he's coming. You know what I mean?
There's nowhere to hide, and that's the biggest. I think that's should be weighing on his shoulders. And the way I heard he acted in the courtroom, all that's going to change. It's going to come back on him, and he's going to drop the body, or somebody's going to drop his body somewhere down the line. It's just because he has that mentality that he can't be touched or whatever. There's guys that will tie him up and
so laid back. Yeah, exactly. People will. I don't think that, and I'm not celebrating this, people. I really am not, whether you believe that or not. But I don't think you can wrap your brain around the level of depravity and violence that this is there. There's nothing else in these people's lives. Do you understand? I mean, for real, for so many of these people, this is it, right? As far as these guys are concerned, this could be the highlight of their entire time on this planet. Is going to be having a shot so that they can say they're the person that that attacked him. It may sound bizarre and brutal, but it's real. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got friends and older cats that had tattoos that signified what they've done. They have a big swastika on their stomach with a noose hanging from it. They've got a rat in the noose, so they've got a cop's badge in their noose. Those people will celebrate getting
Absolutely. That. Yeah, you get.
And they will.
They call it for putting work in, right? So
yeah,
I said this the first day that Aaron had me on his channel. I said, he said, so Danny will have to put work in. I said, Danny's the work. Danny they're not asking Danny to put work in. He is, there were people who are going to go, oh, you want a tattoo? See that one over there? That's your tattoo. Go take that dude out, and we'll put the Hollywood symbol behind it. Like, and Russ is right. Like, you meet a guy and he goes out to the weight pile and he takes his shirt off to go work out, and you can look at him and go, oh boy, that dude's put some work. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you can look at all of the tattoos on his body that have significance, and you're going, this dude has put in a pile of work.
I had a friend of mine I had a friend of mine named Q. Okay. He had hair probably down to his ass. He was probably 5'5", 130 pounds. And I know he put in work because he did it twice while I was there and got away with it. And he was tearing 6'2", 6'3" guys down.
Yep.
Poking holes in them. He was just that gone there. He had 2 life sentences.
That's another thing that you see in movies, right? The guy gets to the prison yard, and the first thing that he does is he picks the biggest dude in the yard and he runs over there. Like, that is movie stuff. I've never actually seen anybody do that in my life. I've never seen anybody try to go after the biggest dude for general principle. But I have watched so many people that you looked at and went, oh, this guy's a dead man. And he gets in there and just is an absolute terror. You never have any idea what you're looking at. You can't look at someone and say, he's not that big. I got nothing to worry about. Because that dude will pull out a lock and a sock and start going to work like he's Bruce Lee. I've seen some crazy stuff. Guys swinging 2 locks at the same time, and the level of depravity and the level of violence that are in prisons. And I'll tell you right now, like, I watched people die. It's something, if you do time on a 3 or 4 yard, you're going to see that.
Yeah. And
where I was on a scale of 1 to 10 was a 6. Right? This dude's going to the 10. There isn't a place in America that would be a nastier prison system that he could go into than the California system. Everybody in the country bases all of their politics and all of their crap on the California system. I mean, for real, it certainly was that way in the feds. Everybody that was given orders and everything else, all of the top guys in every single one of the gangs and every single one of the cars, they're all Cali people. It's
right.
They kind of invented this whole game, so to speak.
They definitely are calling shots. I mean, I'm not going to say any names, but I know some of them, but I would never say anything.
No, good call.
But they can reach out and touch you anywhere.
Their ability to do just that, and their ability to make people's lives a living hell, people's families' lives a living hell. There's irony to this because of what this guy did to the Jane Does and the things that he did that, messed with people's families and did all of this thing. He is about to enter a world where he's taken his entire family with him into the hell that he's about to do. I'm not celebrating that, but I'm telling you straight out, his family is about to have a completely new life. Or I think they're going to do this number. Right?
Yep. That's it right there. Because why does Scientology care about anybody in prison? He's not getting anything out of it. They'll get it out of his wife.
Yep. Yeah.
And they're going to tell him. He's bringing bad press. Drop him. There's nothing we can do. You know, they're so narcissistic. All they do is care about themselves.
It's having it explained to me. You know, we were out in California for the sentencing. We met a lot of people that were ex Scientologists, and we were talking about this. And to hear them explain it, especially as it pertains to his family in particular, they are a very, very, I don't know if the word's devout. I don't know if that's what you say for Scientologists, but the family are believers. Dyed in the wool, no lie. Mom is the real deal believer, and you know, Aaron and some of the other people involved are of the firm belief that the family will probably say to him, there's no reason to continue with this one.
There
You know
isn't.
what I mean, you're just coming back. There's not much reason. It's hard for people who have never been in that kind of a organization to wrap their brain around. But that's really, you know, so many people just, you know, said the same thing. Oh, he's going to drop the body. I mean, that was the sentiment we kept hearing again and again and again while we were at this sentencing, was that people just don't think that that he'll stick with this. And Heather, Joy, good to see you. I'm glad you're here, hon. Heather's back and out of the hospital. That's good. We were worried about you. Sorry, but
Glad you're back.
I see this. I see this not going well, and I feel for the parties. I had to ask you. Did you happen to catch the Ashton Kutcher and his wife apology?
Yeah, I did, man. I felt like I wanted to reach through the, you know, laptop and smash his head against hers. I mean, that, you know, this guy is promoting safety for children and doing all this, and you know, he's definitely complicit in everything that Danny did.
That's why he is doing what he's doing.
In order to be a friend to Danny, you have to do shit that Danny likes. You know, or gets off.
He was out there. He was out there with him. And there's some good videos. You can go and catch him on Aaron's channel. But he's done videos specifically on this. And the people, it's crazy because of how this community is. But everybody knows everybody. Like everybody knows everybody. The people that they were talking about, they knew the Jane Does. They knew them well. So for them to come out, that was disturbing as hell, Russ. That one really, honestly, it took my breath away. And people say to me all the time, you know, this thing's running its course. I'm ready to stop talking about Danny Masterson. I swear to God, I am. But every single time you feel like you're done, something just absolutely bizarre. Hey, Johnny, good to see you. Something really bizarre will happen, and you find yourself back there just going, "How in hell is this possible?" You know,
just wait. You'll hear. You don't hear about, you know, people dying or assaults in prison. You don't hear about it. I think the only reason you'll hear about it is because of celebrity. That's it.
Absolutely. You know, it's the guy that I lived with, the special management unit. You know how every once in a while, I know you've done this, man. You'll just sit and start looking up people that you did time with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have.
I wonder where they got shipped to. So you start running some register numbers and back numbers through. Well, I did this, and it said, "Oh, he's out. Right? He's no longer in the system," is what it read, and I'm like, "This dude had 3 lives." You know,
he's dead.
How is he? He's dead. But they don't even print it that way. I had to do so much research to find out. Nice cats all over the place.
Yeah, my squirrel comes and goes. He's crazy.
I had to do a bunch of research, and all they would say is that he was found dead in his cell in Victorville, and I could find out nothing. But this was not a drop his body kind of guy. He did, however, get crazy on a guy from the Circle. And, you know, that's not a gang you probably want to mess with. And I think that's probably what got him.
Yeah, probably. I've seen guys killed over a bag of KoolAid. When you come out, you go to breakfast in the morning, they'll give you a box lunch on the way out. And it's got a bag
of KoolAid.
Yeah, and I've seen guys go up on their cell, they cut them up, flush them down the toilet, or try to. And the only reason they got caught is he couldn't crush the skull.
Yeah.
I mean, those toilets will suck down a wool blanket. You know that.
They absolutely will suck down a full wool blanket.
He bled him out in the cell, cleaned it up with over a bag of KoolAid.
Yeah.
From honestly, the state.
State issue. You start killing people for state issue stuff. It's pretty crazy. But the life is worthless. Life is absolutely worthless inside there. You get a real appreciation for oftentimes what puts some of these cats in there. Because, you know, I know you've sat down and tried to talk people out of stupid things. You know, there's a guy in there going, you know,
you'll hear it at night.
Going, hey, bud.
Every night.
He owes me 2 bags of Keefy for 3 days. It's $3.60, brother. Take a deep breath.
Exactly.
Life is worthless in there. It is absolutely worthless. And
I can get you hit for a couple soups. I tell you that much.
no question,
I
right?
can get it done.
God forbid, you got 100 paper of anything addictive.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
What someone will do,
okay. I used to get my quarterly packages from my mom. They used to be able to be sent in,
yeah,
and I would have my mom send me the limit on coffee because I don't drink coffee. So I would have like 9 jars of Folgers instant under my bed. And when that time came, these guys would do anything for it.
yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
give out shots of coffee to all the homeboys and, run store.
Yeah. Or during lockdowns, we when they
Yep.
stabbed the warden at Victorville, we were locked down for a really, really long time. And
Right.
The dope dries up and the dealers start making the bag smaller and smaller because they don't want anybody saying to them, you sold to him and not me. Right. So you got everybody breaking it down, and the prices are going up and up and up. And I remember guys that were spending like $1,400 and $1,500 on half grams.
Oh yeah.
And when it gets to that point, people will absolutely kill for a bag of dope. And it's this gentleman is going into a world that people will do stuff like that for laughs. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You find a junkie and throw him, 2 bags of dope to see, have him go do this or that. I swear to you, my favorite Victorville story of all time, because this kind of stuff cannot happen. But I'm sitting at a poker table and there's like 6 of us playing poker mid-afternoon. And a guy comes up to the table like he's going to say hello or ask us if he can play, and pulls out a blade, bone crusher, big old 9-inch, and he was like, I want all the money on the table, push all of it into this hat. And we're looking at him and everybody starts chuckling. We're like, you're serious? And he's like, seriously, man, and there are books of stamps and flat books. I mean, there's got to be $300-400 on the table. And he's going, put it in the hat. And I'm like, where are you going to run? You know what I mean? Like we're in a 75-foot long room, and then he ran up and ran into the dope man's cell, bought some stuff, ran into his, and we're all just looking at each other. And he was a GD. So we went up to the GDs and said, your boy just robbed the poker table. And they were like, I'm sorry, he did what? We're like, yeah, dope fiend, straight dope fiend move. Just came up and robbed the poker table in mid-afternoon. And, they ended up getting the dude out of there. But it gives you an idea. I mean, this is a guy that wanted dope so bad that he knew what was going to happen the second he fixed, right? He's gone. That's a career ender. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, explain that concept, because this is another thing that people, I think, don't understand. And it explains how a killer can end up on a yard like the one that he's going to be getting sent to.
Okay. Well, I don't personally know how to get to the yard, but I know people who have. You get guys that are all tipped up, or I don't want to say initials to other gangs or anything like that.
Good call.
But they'll just want the way out. Or even I've seen guys drop out to get to somebody
to a yard. No question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen gangs literally sitting around talking about like this kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You get it through the window on the yard or whatever.
Down there.
Yep.
Tell them they need protective custody and go. Yeah.
And the word will be out that this guy, went to the sensitive need yards, but they'll tag along something medical with him, or something that doesn't make him in bad graces but gets him on that yard.
And a nice long written kite somewhere that explains this to everybody after he does what he does. It's a sick system, people. It really is. There's no way to just do it justice.
Put it in the prison safe and take it on over.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. The hoop.
Yep. Danny is you brought it up, and it's true that once he walks into anywhere, you got lifers, you got sex offenders, you've got rapists and everything like that. And that would be his only other friend, was another rapist.
That's right. The only people he can live with, the only people that'll talk to him or eat with him or anything else are going to be people with the exact same crime. That's
he's going to get that 400-pound chomo that, hoards food and doesn't shower and everything like that. That's going to be his buddy until the guys start getting on him about, hey man, I'm doing life. Like I said, I ain't got nobody out there. You need to start paying me. Right. Don't think because I'm here because you won't be hurt, because you will.
Yep.
If I don't get a couple hundred.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, these people, there are things that you can do that aren't even necessarily dishonorable. I mean, in terms of what normal convicts would think, but you get a stone cold killer that runs up a $6,000 gambling debt because he got out of control, and they're going to end up pulling him. He's going to lose his career. doesn't make that dude any less dangerous. It really doesn't. It just means that he no longer can be on a regular yard. And there are every single day, there are killers that are getting sent to those yards. There's nothing they can do about it. It's this is one I can't stress enough, because I always get these emails from people that say he's just going to be surrounded with people exactly like him. I promise you, he's not going to be surrounded with people exactly like him. It's just those special needs yards don't work that way. You get a very large cross section of people, from the very calm to the stone cold killer and everything in between.
Oh yeah, there's not a day that I don't think for like probably a year that I didn't see my celly, the key holder, not be able to get high.
Yeah.
Him have his issue. There were people, and then it was going right back out the door, but he always got his. And he would delegate like that. I would, listen to him say stuff, or his conversations, or have to walk out while he's having conversations in the cell. That's it. I just keep point. And then next thing you know, there'd be 2 or 3 guys hit. Black, Mexican, all that, because everybody else is delegating also. And he's got a green light on him from anybody. That means. I mean, any race can do anything to him.
No permission necessary.
Exactly. The green light, he is in the hat.
And from everyone else there, you got nothing coming. You got no help. You can't. There's nobody that's going to do anything for you at all. Uber Newbridge says, and you know what? I'd love to talk about this. I heard this. I did. And I will talk about this if I can get a little bit more on this. And I think I may even be able to reach out to Chrissy Bixler. I had a chance to meet her, and she's a really, really cool person. But this says, Liz Gale made a short today about Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson. Ashton Kutcher may have unalived an ex and called DM for help, according to Chrissy Bixler, who overheard a call. That would be one that I would love to be able to verify. I do know, though, that there was a bunch of talk about exactly that while I was out there. And I have made references to the things that he has been accused of without saying them out loud. And that is the biggest of them, is that, pretty heavy duty stuff that, Ursula, good to see you. I'm glad that you made a live. And Goldie, good to see you.
Goldie's here?
That's what they said.
Hi, Goldie.
Yeah, that's what they said. Very, 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 very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, believe it or not, we're going to have to wrap this one up. I've got 2 other things that I've got to get rolling today. Russ, this is an honor, brother. Really solid wood coming on and talking about the system. Tommy, please fix your sound. You know what? I'm sorry, Denise. I really am. I think a lot of it has to do with my throat more than the mic. This is a Yeti Blue, and it's turned up completely. So I apologize. I think it might have something to do with the fact that I've been gargling with sand for several days. So I apologize.
I like I said, Tommy, I've got my feelers out, and all the homeboys know I've gotten like 4 or 5 calls from people that are in, and I still keep contact with, because I always send them money if I can and take care of them like that, because they're lifelong friends, and I'm not going to drop them out, because everybody else has. They're good. They're good dudes, and I'll always look out for them, and their paperwork is clean. But they know what's going on, and their ear is to the stream in there. So I'll find out. Believe me, even though everybody else won't find out. We'll find out.
Yeah, I will definitely be using you as a reference, my man. I definitely will be, and I do appreciate you. Hey,
it's not a problem.
Nice to see you.
I watch AA around all the time. I got nothing but respect for him. And Leah, Mike, all those people that went through. Those ladies. My heart goes out to them. Yeah, my heart.
Fighting it, man, for real. They, I think that this is the generation that says, you know what, screw this, and it's pretty fantastic to watch, because these people got away with shoving around good people and creating people that didn't get justice, and one right after the other. And you know what, this is pretty friggin' sweet. And I have a feeling this is the beginning of the end for the Garden Gnome and his minions. So good stuff.
Yeah, there's people out there that if I was still in the business, I would just have to give a little bit, and they would take care of all these PIs and people following. They're out there.
We actually saw a bunch of them while we were out there. They They were pretty fond of making sure that they knew what we had for dinner, kind of a thing. So it was fairly interesting. Russ, it's been a pleasure, my man. And
It has.
we will definitely do this again. Thank you so much for coming on. And people, we will see you later tonight. We got a Saturday night boat. I realized it's Sunday. I just didn't.
I'll be there.
That yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't know what day
Saturday
is, but I know what today is. The kitty in the basket is right now hunting lizards. I apologize, but she shall be back. You have my word.
Yeah. Mine is too.
I promise. Yeah, we will have them. All right. God bless everyone. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Very